don't have a camera on that side. All right, we are live. All right, good morning. Boru Aboye. My name is Baba Anthony. I am thankful, humbled, and blessed to be in the Ile of Baba Ramin and Iya Barbie. Thank you guys for allowing us to be here to broadcast. We're celebrating Eshu today. As I said in last week's Ifa Temple service, um, our goal is to pray to Eshu, as I've explained before in other temple services. Eshu is important to us because he is the one that takes our prayers to Olodumare. He's the one that intercedes. When we offer our ebo, we go to Eshu first, and he takes all of the prayers to Olodumare for us. So he is rather important. In Nigeria, they're celebrating tomorrow. Eshu is not Satan. And so that's what they're celebrating. And that came about because when the Bible was translated over there, they took the name of Eshu and used that as the devil within their translations of the Bible. So we don't necessarily have that challenge here in the diaspora, but again, we're here to celebrate Eshu and ask Eshu for blessings for ourselves, for our families, for our temple members, for all of those that are here. So we're going to have a little bit of prayer, talk about Eshu. We're going to do an offering, which we'll do off camera for Eshu. We'll come back on for drumming. We'll have some drumming later, and then we'll do some songs to Eshu also. All right. So thank you for joining us today. So we're going to start with our Iba and some morning prayers to get us started. Alolo, cool piece of water, pure tranquil water. This was the Ifa cast for Orumio. Is going to take Olomi Tutu on of cool water to his wife. Ifa says it's taboo. Erigielo will never allow Olomi Tutu die a cruel, cheap death. Olomi Tutu and death have entered into a covenant. Cool roads, cool home, and cool Eshu. Ibashe Olodumare Obatere de Kae. Ibashe Atiwo Orum. Ibashe Atiwo Orum. Ibashe Orumila Lady Queen. Ibashe Akoda. Ibashe Asheka. Ibashe to our Oris, Ibashe to Esu Odara, Ibashe to Obatala, Ibashe to Oya, Ibashe to Oshun, Ibashe to Ogun, Ibashe to Oya, Ibashe to Shango, Ibashe to Egbe, Ibashe to Aje, Ibashe to Olokun Seni Ade, Ibashe to all of the Orishas that come to support us, Ibashe to my mother, Cecile Smith, Ibashe to my father, Junior McFarland, Ibashe to my Baba Ifa, Kolade, Ibashe to my Aluo, Jesus Montero, Ibashe to my Uyubon, Miguel Avila, Ibashe to Baba Ramin, Ibashe to Baba Felix, Ibashe to Baba Jason, Ibashe to Baba Jose, Ibashe to Baba Amos, Ibashe to Chief Shalaba de Popola, Ibashe to Iya Barbie, Ibashe to all of those that are here in attendance, Ibashe to my wife, Ibashe to my children, Ibashe to all my brothers and sisters in Ifa and Orisha who have offered their support and have shared their knowledge with me. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Ejiobe. He who hears our pleas and accepts our pleas. He who hears our pleas and approves our pleas. He who talks to us is sure the talk is completely absorbed. He who hears our pleas and accepts our pleas in the name of Ifa. He who hears our pleas and approves our pleas is Esu Odara. He who talks to people and ensure the talk is completely absorbed is Orishanla. Orishanla, you are the one that molds human beings. The one that molds one cannot fail to impress one. It is the striped frog that summons the rainfall. It is the bullfrog that summons the downpour. It is whatever the Akere Japon tree root tells the earth that the earth accept. It is whatever the big rat tells the earth that the earth accept. Whatever I tell you, Ifa, please approve and accept all of them. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oshe Ogunda. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the rats to be thankful, and the rats asked why. Orumila responded because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which the rats enjoyed. The rats said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of ingratitude leads to inglorious death of rats. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the fish to be thankful, and the fish asked why. Orumila responded because of the gratuitous feeding and drinking, which the fish enjoyed. The fish said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of ingratitude leads to inglorious death of fish. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the birds to be thankful, and the birds asked why. Orumila responded because of the gratuitous feeding and drinking, which the birds enjoyed. The birds said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of birds. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the beast to be thankful, and the beast asked why. Rumila responded, because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which the beast enjoyed. The beast said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of beast. Rumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the human beings to be thankful, and the human beings asked why. Rumila responded, because of the gratuitous feeding and drinking, which human beings enjoyed. It was only the human beings that said there was a need to be thankful. Ifa, I have come to show my gratitude. If one has shown benevolence, then we must show gratitude. Ifa, I have come to show my gratitude. Ashe. Awa dupwe, awa bure, awa dupwe, oh, awa bure. Adupwe anao aobore toribo olodumare awadupwe awabure awadupwe o awabure adupwe anao aobore toribo orieni awadupwe awabure awadupwe o awabure adupwe anao aobore toribo erumole awadupwe awabure awadupwe o awabure adupwe anao aobore toribo legulosa. That means we have come to show our gratitude. We've come to receive our blessings. We've come to show our gratitude. We've come to receive our blessings. We are sure to receive our blessings from Olodumare, from our Ori, from the Irumole, and from the Orisha. Ashe. Eroson Itutu. Pounded yam without soup can be difficult to consume. This was the Ifa cast for Itutu, child of Abani Egun. He whose attitude was not acceptable, he who's full of bad character, he whose bad attitude prevented him from coming to Ifa's domain. Now we've come to solicit on behalf of Itutu. We have come to beg on behalf of Itutu. Father, please be patient and forgive this provocation. We've come to beg on behalf of Itutu. Orumila responded that those of you who come to solicit on behalf of Itutu, those who come to beg on behalf of Itutu, how many children does Ifa have that he would cast one out? Those who come to beg on behalf of Itutu. Ashe. Ofumeji. He Baodu. The king who molds human beings, the king who molds human destiny, the king who supports and assists human beings, the king who molds human character. The king who molds human beings is name given to Ifa. The king who molds human destiny is name given to, the king who molds human beings is name given to Orishanla. The king who molds human destiny is name given to Ifa. The king who supports and assists human beings is name given to one's Ori. The king who molds human characters is name given to Olodumare. Orangu Meiji are calling you by your formula, which is known as He Paodu. You are the ones who help in organizing one's life for one's life to be fruitful. You are the ones who help in organizing one's life for one's life to be rewarding. Please come and help me organize my life. So it is blessed with wealth, so it is blessed with children, so it is blessed with all the area of life. It is impossible to see the depth of the sea. All that I'm doing, please do not let people dig up evil in me. It is impossible to see the depth of the river. Please let all of our matters be fruitful and rewarding. Ifa, we come to pray to you and ask for your support to remove death, sickness, litigation, loss, contention, all negative things from our lives, so we may have the support of all of the Orisha. We may have the support of you, Olodumare, so that we may continue to grow and prosper in all of our endeavors. Ashe. Ashe Orisha lenu mi o, Ashe Orisha lenu mi. Bobo ti mo ba ma mo wi o, eromole oba, Ifa oba o, Ashe Orisha lenu mi. Ashe Orisha lenu mi o, Ashe Orisha lenu mi. Bobo ti mo ba ma mo wi o, eromole oba, Ifa oba o, Ashe Orisha lenu mi. Let the Ashe of the Orisha manifest in my mouth. Let the Ashe of the Orisha manifest in my mouth. All what I've been saying in my prayers, the Eromole too shall accept them. Let the Ashe of the Orisha manifest in my mouth. Bimo duro, timo sure, timo bere, timo sure, timo kunle, timo sure, bimo joko, timo sure, ere timo suoritibo. if I stand up and pray, if I bend down and pray, if I kneel down and pray, if I sit down and pray, all my prayers will be heard by my Ori. Let us hold our Oris. Orieni laude eni orieni laude eni moji lowuro mofo mori orieni laude eni orieni laude eni orieni laude eni moji lowuro mofo mori orieni laude eni. One's Oris, one's charms for all success. One's Oris, one's charms for all success. When I wake up in the morning, I hold my Ori. One's Oris, one's charms for all success. Boboy reitasu, ifa oba oloro, atibatiaju, ifa oba oloro, no she awu ela ifa tibon. All the prayers that we offer, Ifa, you have heard in heaven. All the reverences, Ifa, you've heard in heaven. Oshe awude la, Ifa, you've heard all what we have said. Ashe. All right. Good morning again. Thank you for joining us for our temple service. I am Baba Anthony with Okanran Sode Temple. I'm here in the home of Baba Ramin and Ia Barbie as we celebrate Esu today. We hear a lot about Esu, or may read a lot about Esu. And one of the most important things that I've learned being around this faith for so many years of my life is that it's to really understand Esu. We have to get into the stories of who Esu is and what he's about. We have to see what he has done throughout all of the Odu Ifa, Odu Erendilo Gun, the stories that Esu has lived. We'll start to begin to understand. Even to study his Oriki is a great place to start. Something I heard the other day that I thought was interesting, and it always comes from someone who is maybe has not started their practice in Ifa or Orisha, and they say to themselves, "Oh, well, I hear that Esu is evil and he's good. I hear that Esu will hurt me if I do this. I hear that Esu will be a problem in my life. I need to make sure that I take care of him." And I kind of have a different approach or thought about Esu. Esu to me is one of the most best friends of Ifa, of Orumila. He is the one that is there, and at the same time, he will keep Orumila in his place when he needs to, even if Orumila does things that maybe he shouldn't be doing. So Orumila wasn't perfect. That we have to understand. Orumila lived a life of goodness and grace, but even he went through trials and tribulations. So I'm going to share some stories today about Esu, and then we're going to continue on with our celebration. So the first verse that we're going to look at today comes from Ogbe Hunle. So please repeat after me. Home is the place where the ray of life lives.
Home is the place where the ray of life lives.
And outside is where the ray of life is displayed. This was Ifa's message for Orumila. When feasting the 401 Irumole during his annual festival. And would be thoroughly beaten in the process. He was advised to offer a bow. Okay. So here we have the story of Orumila. He was about to, during this point in his life, Orumila had lived many, I guess we say, different lives, right? It's the best way of looking at Orumila. He had many different lives. It just wasn't one time that he lived. There were reincarnations of Orumila. So at this particular time in his life, Orumila was the type of person that always needed to have balance. He always needed to make sure everything was good. So, and this even came to when it came to taking care of family and taking care of friends. And so his balance was this, he's like, you tell his family members and tell his friends, say, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to make sure that you guys are okay, but I need to make sure that all the people that come for me are okay. I need to treat everybody equally and balanced. Now, his family members, they were at a place where they said to themselves, they said, okay, Orumila, we hear you, but you can't forget about your family. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make yourself comfortable. I think, right. So they said, Orumila, don't forget about your family. There might be times that you need to focus on us and help us out. And so Orumila kind of felt a certain type of way. He felt like his family was coming after him, I guess you can say, because they were trying to say that, they were more important than the strangers outside. But again, Orumila says, no, I need to have balance. If I'm going to take care of you, I need to take care of the outside equally. Well, this made quite an issue in the home. It caused quite a bit of contention amongst Orumila and his family members. So Orumila went about his way and his family went about their way. And Orumila kind of was being a little bit stubborn. He said, I'm going to, I think I need to take a break from my family. So here comes one of his annual festivals that's coming up. All of the Irumole are invited. Everybody was coming to the party. It was going to be the party to remember because it was Orumila. So Orumila gets everything ready. He starts focusing. He gets all the foods for, he was like for the guests and everything. He knew what everybody's taboo was. He made sure there's a dish for every single Irumole at the party. But his family was sort of watching, and he hadn't been there for a while to help them out. And, they were kind of watching. They were thinking to themselves, man, this is messed up. He's so focused on them and not even taking care of home. Okay. All right. So they felt some type of way. And then Orumila had heard that some of them even were like thinking that the festival would be a failure. So Orumila started to feel some type of way. So now we have him going against his family, which really shouldn't have been the intention. So things are getting ready. Things are going. The party is on. Everything is happening. His family's kind of watching the party from afar because it's a really grand and big festival. So as time goes on, everybody's enjoying themselves. Orumila sees a group of Egungun priests celebrating. And for those of you that know about the Egungun priests, they like to whip. When they're dressed in a masquerade, they're always carrying branches. They're walking around whipping and smacking. And Orumila gathers himself. He gets his money together. He's going to go pray to the Egungun priests and ask for blessings from the ancestors. And as he gets near them, he gets a little bit too close. And then he gets hit and he falls down. And then all of the other masqueraders start jumping in and they're beating him and they're kicking him and they're laying into him. Oh. Orumila doesn't even know what to do. And it's, they can't see or know that it's Orumila they're beating on and nobody's helping, but his family sees what's happening and they're standing back watching. Now, prior to this, as in any case with Orumila, when he goes to have Ifa cast in preparation for the festival, he was warned about this from the Awos. He was warned that he needs to take care of everybody, but still have that balance. But the one part of the advice that he didn't hear from the Awo is that he needed to make sure that he healed the relationship between his family. So his family watched. Nobody jumped in to help him. And Orumila was getting beaten, he was getting kicked, he was getting hurt pretty bad. Here comes Esu Odara. Esu Odara jumps in and he goes to the family. He says, look, you all need to take care of Orumila. You need to assist him. You know that that's Orumila down there. You need to help him because without him, you wouldn't have the blessings that you have in your life. You understand that he's working for everybody, but nobody's perfect. And he got them. Esu Odara got them as his family says, you're right. They all jumped in. They grabbed Orumila out. They took him back to the house. They put him together. They cleaned him up. Orumila comes back too, and he realizes, he's in his family's home. He's with his members of his family. And he thought to himself, he couldn't believe it, that this is what's happening. But here's a time where Esu Odara stepped in to save his life and brought his family back to assist him. And then Orumila, said, I'm sorry for all of the challenges and all the things that I caused. And he apologized to his family. So this is a story, while it's one that's not necessarily a happy one, but we see Orumila kind of being a little bit on the stubborn side, right? Orumila will always offer Ebo. He will always do as he has to do, but there will be moments within Odu Ifa, within different stories where even he doesn't quite follow the advice to the T, right? And we should understand that, one, it's important for all of us to, follow the advice that we need to do. But if we're offering a bow and trying to live a life of righteousness, Esu Odara will be the one to step in to help us out, right? So that's where I see Esu as a savior for Orunmila, right? This is a powerful story. There's many other stories like this. Another funny, quite similar story to with Orunmila and in Ejiogbe, in the Odu of Ejiogbe, where Orunmila had offered a bow and he was told to make a sacrifice within 7 days. And he had to make an offering to Esu. He just had to give Esu a rat wrapped in, I think it was like 101 calories. And he had to give Esu that offering after he'd offered his bow. But he didn't have a rat at the time. He needed to go get it. And 2 days goes by. Esu offers his items, gives his stuff. Esu comes by Orunmila's house to collect his stuff. And he sees, Orunmila didn't leave me my stuff. So he goes back out. And meanwhile, as there were 4 travelers that were coming, because Orunmila was told in this Odu of Ejiogbe that 4 blessings were going to come to him, but he would only receive 3. These 4 blessings, I believe it was joy. Do you remember about it? It's like joy, happiness, dancing. I can't remember exactly. Yes, right. And so the goodness was coming to these 4 Irays were coming. And here's where Esu could be seen as a trickster. But Esu was only here to really provide for Orunmila when he completed the works that he needed to complete, when he did the things that he was supposed to do. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more of the story. So Orunmila is supposed to lead this offering for Esu, and he doesn't. Another 2 days passes by, and his wife says, Baba, I noticed you haven't left the offering for Esu yet. The Awo said that we needed to complete this offering, otherwise we're going to miss out on the Ire. So these 4 visitors that were coming to see Orunmila, they were stopped by Esu on the road. They said, we're here. And he says, who might you be? And they explain who they are. He said, we're here to visit Baba Orunmila. And Esu says, Baba Orunmila is traveling right now. He travels all the time, so he's not home. Why don't you come with me? I got a great house for you to stay in. Come with me. Come stay here. Oh, okay. So Esu takes them to a place to stay, and then again, goes back a couple days later, he sees, Orunmila still hasn't put my offering out yet. He says, okay, all right. So he goes back to visit the guests. They said, where's Baba Orunmila? We have some good things for him. Okay. Esu says, I have some bad news. Baba Orunmila has died. They're like, their heart's broken. They've like so much grief. And he says, and then he leaves. And there's sadness. One of the blessings, or one of the people that were coming to visit him, she was so sad she went to a bridge, took her life. Here we go to the 7th day. Finally, Orunmila says, I need to take care of Esu. So he goes and puts out the offering for Esu. Esu comes strolling along. He says, shit. Takes his offering. He's like, let me go get them folks. And he goes to the house and he says, come on. It was all a mistake. Orunmila's alive. Orunmila's alive. Come with me. He says, what happened to the 4th one? He says she was so distraught that she took her life. All right. This is the story of where Orunmila lost one of his blessings that were coming for him. All right. So again, Esu seems like he could have been a trickster, but he was really there to support Orunmila if he had completed everything that he needed to do. Right. There's so many different stories within Ifa. There's so many different ways of looking at Esu, but really I want us all to consider this. Esu is our greatest supporter. Right. Esu is the one who will look out for us when we offer a bow, when we have good character. Esu will take care of us, in many cases. Let's go to the Odu of Irosommeji. Please repeat after me. The face of Olosommeji was merely uninviting. Like someone who has wickedness within. But Irosommeji harbors no malice against anyone.
Harbors no malice against anyone.
This was Ifa's verdict to Esu Meji.
This was Ifa's verdict to Esu Meji.
When lamenting his inability to acquire any ire in life.
When lamenting his ability to acquire any ire in life.
He was advised to offer a vote.
He was advised to offer a vote.
Okay, so here within this Odu of Esu Meji, we have the story of a Babalao, and he was Esu Meji. His deal was this. He was well versed, well studied. He'd actually studied with Orunmila himself, and he was and Orunmila considered him like one of the best awos of his time, because he was very good. He can tell anybody what their problem was, and he was serious about his work. But for some reason, when he was around other people, hey, how are you? When he was around other people, he saw them. Other people saw him as someone who was always angry or upset. What we would call today as for lack of a better terms, the resting bee face. Right? Right? You know, when people always think you look mad, but you're not really mad. So, you know, right? So that's how people thought of Esu Meji, right? They said, he's always angry. He's always got something going on. And that really wasn't the case. So he goes to have Ifa cast for himself. I know I've talked with Baba Ramin before, like one of the many times we read in these stories, it's not often, actually, I don't even know of a story that I can say that Orunmila cast Ifa for himself, right? It's always someone else. It's always Orunmila going to have his students or another Awo cast Ifa for him. And so Esu Meji, as great as a Babalawo as he was, he goes to have Ifa cast for him. He wants to know, am I going to be successful? Am I going to have, clients? I've been studying, I've been working. Ifa promises all of these blessings to me. Will they come? And the Awo said, Ashe. Yes, they cast Ifa, they give him the messages. They say that all good things and all your life is coming to you. All the success you're looking for is coming to you. Ifa will continue to support you. One, you have to continue to remain dedicated to Ifa. Two, you have to change your appearance. You have to try to greet people with kindness, smile, be someone who is pleasant to greet, because many people think that you're upset as soon as they see you. And so that became, he was like, okay. So he decided to do that. So he offers his abo. He hears the advice. He goes home. He continues to maintain his dedication. Well, guess who comes into the scene to help? Here comes Esu Odara. Esu Odara. He goes, he gets his pieces of the abo, as he always should. He goes and he makes his way out to the street, and he changes himself into a man. And he sees people. It's like, I see you have a problem. The person's like, yes, like, I'm having some challenges right now. He says, well, I know this great Awo. His name's Esu Meji. He lives right over here. You need to go find him. And Esu does this. He starts to make his trip around the town. He's getting in people's ears. More people have problems. I heard about this great Awo named Esu Meji. Right, and the story ends ends in the way that Esu Meji's life started to change. He offers his ebo. He did everything he had to do, and Esu was his great supporter. Esu was the one who started to bring clients to his home. Esu was the one who started to open the doors. Esu heard his prayers and offered him support. Right, this is important for all of us as Ifa and Orisha devotees. Right. We need to understand the importance of Esu within our lives. We may have Obatala, we may have Oshun, we may have Ifa, but if we don't have Esu, we're stuck. Right? Because Esu is the one that he's that one. Again, people see him as a trickster, but he's the one that's opening the doors or letting them stay closed. Right? It's easy for him to be like, I'm good. Right? So that's what we have to kind of think about when we think about who Esu is and how important he is to us. And there are many, many more stories in Odu Ifa that I think are so important. But I would love to hear from anybody here, any of the Awos. Would anybody like to share about Esu and his importance, or what your thoughts are on Esu?
Yeah, I'd like to share a little bit of me.
Yes, please.
Hey everybody, this is Baba Ramin from Abati, Aburabaye. Issue for me, I understand, is our great teacher, the great teacher of our destiny. Issue is the one that would allow us to know if we're making a mistake in life or if we're doing something positive in life, because he's the one that holds things in balance.
Sure.
The great law of Issue is that nothing can be received if we do not sacrifice something. So there has to be something given in order to receive. Issue is the one that is the owner of this balance. So, for instance, it doesn't always have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be an object or an item, but time is the biggest sacrifice we can give in life. A moment that I sacrifice to teach someone something or to talk to someone about something is a minute or an hour that I'm never going to get back again.
Mm-hmm.
It takes off and it doesn't come back. So this sacrifice is one of the most important things that we have, that we give: time. Issue is the owner of time. Issue is the owner of movement. Anything that has to do with moving one from one place to another has to do with Issue, which is why he's so important for us. I believe Issue gets the bad rap, or uh, like is thought of as a negative energy, because he's the one that keeps us on our toes, in the sense that when we are committing, negative acts in life, when we aren't sticking to our destiny, he's the one that's going to kind of reprimand us and put us back in line. I mean, there's so many stories of how Issue was important for us, but Issue is necessary for anyone that is not perfect. So as Awo Anthony said, even Orumela wasn't perfect himself. The Orishas themselves weren't perfect. There was a time where even the Orishas had bad character in this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And one story quickly that I can go over is where Eshu closed the passage between Araorum, which is the ancestral realm, heaven, and Adye, right? In the beginning, the Orishas, you didn't have to be born in order to pass away, to transition from this earth to Araorum. In the past, the essence of life was just alive, and you can travel essentially through a passage, let's say a mountain passage, to go to Araorum and then to come back to earth. Eshu saw that the Irumole at this time were having bad character and doing things as they wanted, and was essentially sent by Olodumare to come down in order to kind of stabilize things, teach that there should be order within things. And Eshu was actually the one that closed this passage between heaven and earth and made it so everyone had to be born. So when we're born, we have to basically enter through the passage of Eshu, which is the river of mud and the river of blood, which is the womb of our mother, is the passage of Eshu that we have to take from Araunu to come here to be born. And the reason why the point of Eshu is here is because the destiny that we had in the past and the divinations that were done in Araorum are essentially erased from our mind once we're exiting the canal. Eshu touches us here, and we forget it. That's why it's called Eshu Pako, where Eshu touches us back. So Eshu is extremely important. We could deliberate so much more on Eshu, but again, I wanted to give that story of how important Eshu is for our life. But Eshu is Orumila's best friend, everyone's best friend, really. Whoever proceeds in a good action and does good things in life will always be blessed by Eshu. Aburaboy.
That's it. Aburaboy. All right.
I don't know if anybody else wants to try it.
Sure. Greetings. My name is Anna Yalosun Yadorisa Oshumiwa. Well, Eshu is very important in my life personally because my father's been initiated in Eshu for over 40 years. So I've learned to deal with the perception of character, right? To my understanding of Eshu, the perception of Eshu, and when I try to share this, is to try to give like a broad and very simple understanding. Eshu is contraction and expansion. Eshu is also the point zero of possibility. Based on a character is what we're possibly going to attract. And that's Eshu. That's why I say Eshu Lalu. Eshu is like the policeman. He's not Satan. He's the policeman. He's the one that keeps that check in our character of what we do. I'd like to share a quick story, if you don't mind, of an essay of a verse of Erin Dilogun in Odara, where it says, the child was born gifted but the parents didn't see it. That's why we hear a lot in the Kumi, Odara is the tongue, and they get, sometimes there's these characteristics about the lying, and it's not the lying. I learned now through the process of Isheshe, is there's a quick story, just a simple synopsis, is there was a boy in a compound that would say, the elephants are coming. And then all the warriors would come out to try to get the elephant. And then all of a sudden, Eshu would come along and would push the elephant out of the way until the child looked like a liar, right? And so through that process, he had to do it both so that his word could be heard, could be acknowledged, so that his gifts that the child was born with, the parents could see. So what do we learn by that is that it is important to appease Eshu so that there isn't a confusion, not only in our mindset, but in communication. And so a lot of times we think, Eshu is the child or the old man or the trickster. He is basically there just to observe what we do to ourselves. I don't personally believe that Orisha harms anybody, or what do we say, castigar, like punishes anybody. I feel like cause and effect, right? So Eshu is there to be like, I'm going to give you the chance. Let's see how we work this out. And when we do appease Eshu, which is very important, it's a way to also applicate the energy that we did in our past life, what our ancestors did. That's why we appease with a lot of epo, which is to calm him. And he has such a relationship with Awomi Yami, which is the administrators of the planet. So my invitation for all of us, especially this upcoming year, life is evolving, and every year we want to say, oh, this has been a good year or a bad year. It's just been a year that we get to learn, we get to evolve, and we create that consistent relationship with Eshu, allows us to, at least in my life, to reflect on that possibility of creating changes where it needs to be. So, Ashe to everyone.
Thank you for sharing. All right. So, thank you for sharing. Again, now we're going to move into the next phase where we're going to be offering prayers to Eshu, offering OB, and then feeding Eshu the offering. And then shortly after, we'll come in for the drumming aspect. So you can join us throughout the morning. This is not the end of the broadcast, but for now, this is the end of our morning messages and stories about Eshu. So please come on back. All right, we'll see you in a bit. Bye.